Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Defining Wellness Confab. I'm Denise O'Malley, the founder of You Define Wellness, and we're bringing to you this event that is 8 days long, packed with presentations from health and wellness professionals. You know, one of the reasons why we're doing it is our theme is becoming the director of your own healthcare. And what that means is when you're stepping outside of your traditional medical insurance and you're trying to find other paths to healing or just general wellness, living a happy, healthy, thriving life, sometimes we don't know where to start. And so we tend to go over to the Google machine, as I've heard it called, and put keywords in, and up will come a provider directory or Yelp or something. And you don't really know a whole lot about those people. Well, I do. With our hundreds of health and wellness professionals, I can introduce you to some of the best who are out there. And so in this confab, that's what I'm doing, is I'm introducing you to a bunch of them. And the one that we're going to be talking with today, we have the pleasure of chatting with Sharon Thornburg from Awaken You about Simplified Emotional Freedom Technique. And I'm really interested because this is a new topic for me. So Sharon, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Denise. I'm very happy to be here, and I know there are people out there that's listening who are familiar with Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT, but I'm going to be talking about Simplified and what that is and why Simplified.
Awesome. And I'm turning it over to you now.
And I have a PowerPoint that I'm going to be sharing with the audience as I talk about this new program. And here we go. So what is EFT? Well, it's a self-empowering tool that supports positive change. And Valerie List is the founder of this program, and she is working on how you can get quicker, faster results by using the simplified method. And so we're going to talk about that today, and I'll tell you more about that. What else does EFT do? Well, it works on the benefits are it works on our mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And you can get faster and easier results with that by tapping. It releases blockage and distractions a person has. And why do we have blockages? Well, meridians. We have meridians. And meridians are tied to an emotion and an organ. And if you start tapping, which that's what I'm doing right now, and I'll talk more about this later, but you can release those blockages and those emotions that are stored there. So it's also very credible, and I'll share some studies with you, and we'll talk a little bit about what's credible about that. You use the fingertips, as I just recently showed you, and you tap on certain spots on the face and the upper body to do that releasing of emotion. It was developed by a Stanford engineer, Gary Craig, and it comes from the family. What he did is he did a shortened version of thought-filled therapy, and that started in the 90s. And Gary's credited for having come up with the emotional freedom technique. My teacher, Valerie, has spent 25 years studying with him, so she has a broad perspective of how you can simplify EFT. And because it's meridian-based, the roots of EFT is related to acupuncture. So you have similar points that you do with acupuncture. And yes, it is very weird, but effective. So why is EFT credible? Well, and how has it become credible? Well, it meets the American Psychological Association, APA, criteria for evidence-based practice on phobias, anxiety, and PTSD trauma. there has been 100+ studies completed on studying EFT, and out of those 100+, 5 of them have the meta-analysts have been published in peer-reviewed journals, which basically what that means is there is a commonality that's been reviewed on the studies. The same results have come up, and that has happened like on 5 different occasions, so that there's a theme that's being developed on the credibility of this. And we continue to do studies and continue to review to see how this impacts and changes people's lives. EFT has been accepted by the VA for war trauma. And an interesting story on that, Denise, is that I want to share with you, is after 6 sessions of EFT, 86% no longer have challenges with PTSD. 86% of our veterans.
Wow.
So here I want to read to you what a veteran actually said. And it was Captain George Peters. He had to say, after 6 sessions through the Stress Project program, for 35 years, I was hard to get along with, divorced, fired, feared by my children because I overreacted to any provocation. 6 hours of therapy gave me the tools to change.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
All that for 35 years.
Yeah.
I have another study I want to share with you, and this is on weight loss. So in Australia at the Griffin University, they did a random study with 96 obese or overweight people. They worked with them for 4 weeks, and they taught them EFT, and they worked on food cravings and other food challenges. And what they did is they did a follow-up a year later to see how those 96 people were doing. And those 96 people had maintained weight loss, and their average weight loss was 11 pounds, and they were still losing, and they hadn't gained back the weight that they had lost. And when you compare that to other weight loss experiences, after 2 years, people usually gain back their weight.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I can speak personally. I have, like probably a lot of women, challenges with chocolate.
My nemesis, yes.
Love our chocolate. And I've been off chocolate for now the last 5 months.
Wow.
And so there are ways that you can tap through those experiences on food, can change how you look at food and how you react to food.
Wow.
So going to the next one, what is So what are the benefits of EFT? Well, it can do a number of things. It can help with stress. It neutralizes the emotional pain, including fear and sadness. It can abolish cravings, resolve headaches, acid indigestion, and illnesses. Can get rid of food and chemical sensitivities, resolve physical problems and emotional health, and improve sports and physical performance. And what we're seeing is this is starting to move into other arenas and coming into the mainstream. We're going to see more and more of this coming into the mainstream. And why do I say that? And why do I feel that way? Here's a great story. There's a teacher in Chicago. She's taken this program, and what she's done is she works with charter schools, and she was working on her PhD. So she did her study on this, and she created a whole toolkit for kids and teachers. So now she goes around to schools, and she teaches teachers how to use this with their students. And one area in particular that she really focuses on, how to help the kids work through their self-esteem issues, their fears around test anxiety, and the teachers can help the kids be set up to test better because they're not so anxious, they're not so stressed. Am I going to be able to pass, and be in the motion? And then they can be more calm, and as a result, they can pass their tests. And so she's getting great results working with kids in school.
Wow.
Somebody else in my class, I just love these stories about what's happening and what people are doing with this. He's a former police officer. He was there for 14 years. He had some trauma as a result of the kind of work he did. And now he's getting ready to work with a contract with the Minneapolis Police Department,
Wow.
coming back in to work with police officers that have been traumatized and to help them work through their experiences that they've had in taking care of the community. So lots is happening with how to use this tool. So what is it? What is Simplified EFT? Well, and why? Why do we want to use the Simplified? So EFT is it's a combination of concepts and practices that will be, as a trainer, you're taught on how to use those to get your client to a high level that they can experience quickly and efficiently. And it works on the emotional distress. And the thing that about EFT and the Simplified EFT is once you deal with the situation, it's over, it's permanent. And you no longer have to deal with that. Now, you might have another underlying event that comes up, but the original event that you worked on is gone. And you know that old saying that we are like an onion. We have all these experiences, and once you start peeling back the onion, more things surface that you need to work on. You can start doing that. You start moving through those layers of what is impacting your life, but that one that you work on at that time is gone, and you're neutralized. You may, and what I mean by that is, let's pretend like you've had a death, and you know how emotional you are with that. You can tap through that. Not that they're not going to miss the loss of your loved one. That doesn't change. But that high intensity of that emotional level gets to a place where you can think about that emotional person and that loss from a more calm place. And it's not such a trigger as it was before. You can have an underlying limiting belief, because we work on limiting beliefs. And that underlying limiting belief may be, I'm not lovable. And once you start working on that limiting belief, you don't have that charge that you're not liked or loved or cared. You're from a more calm place, and you start seeing that, hey, I really am lovable. And you can fully step into your personal empowerment to know that you're okay, and you can make better decisions. So it's a great tool for self-care. And once you're taught, you can do it on your own. You won't need a practitioner. And why do we want to go to Simplified? Well, the previous methodology was all about words. There was words associated with the tapping. There are 8 points. And we used to talk about all the words associated as we tapped. I'm not lovable. Nobody loves me. I'm not lovable. I've never been loved by anybody. So you would go through all these points talking about not being lovable. Well, what happens with Simplified, you get the client to an emotional place, and you've taught them how to start tapping. The first point's on the top of the head. So there are 3 points around the eye. One is around the eyebrow, side of eye, and underneath on the bone under the eye. Under the nose, under the chin, over here on the side next to the heart where there's a soft spot, and under your arm, down from your armpit. And for the best way for me to describe it is where the bra would be for a woman, under that point is the 8 points. So in Simplified, if I had taught somebody how to do this, I would have them get them emotional. They go into their own space with their eyes closed, their feet on the ground. I'm tapping to support them, and they're doing their own internal processing. They have to start thinking about what is the emotion, where it is, but then all of a sudden, because this is divinely orchestrated by something higher than me or them, they will get messages, and the messages will come through. So I'm going to tell a couple quick stories, and then we can talk if any questions, but this will explain what I was just saying. So I worked with somebody who was traumatized by the thought of being fired. We tapped. She emotionally went inward and worked on it. Prior to that, she could see because she opted to take a leave of absence because she was really in bad shape and she knew she was going to get fired. So she went on medical leave. And we're tapping through the whole situation of being fired. All of a sudden, I saw this look on her face where she smiled. And she said, "Oh my God, I had to leave the organization and take this break." She worked in healthcare because I was putting the organization at risk. I could have been putting patients at risk. And she went, "I did the right thing." And she was no longer in that place of being so stressed about the firing. And that was a hit for her that she did do the right thing. Then on a weight loss one, I've been working with somebody and I've been teaching them how to manage their cravings and working with, how to get that anxiousness down when she sees her favorite food, which happens to be chocolate. And as a result, like I said earlier, for me, off the chocolate, hasn't had chocolate in 3 months. Wow. She's lost 10 pounds. And then the last one is about me learning a new skill. Technology. So I never grew up with technology. I've had to learn it. And I've always had positions in the past where I was at a vice president level, and I could pan off people to do the technology work that I needed required, like an Excel spreadsheet, PowerPoint, whatever it was. And I was really afraid of technology. So I started tapping on my own fear around technology. And as a result, I can go in and manage technology. I've been able to learn Excel. I've learned how to put PowerPoints together. I'm not afraid, where I was living in a lot of fear around technology. So it also helps if you want to learn a new skill to work through what the anxiety is around that skill.
That's awesome. Okay, any more?
I'm good.
Oh, wow, awesome.
Any questions?
No, I have thoughts, though, in terms of this. First of all, I think that we need to be living in a world where people are walking around or driving, as they're driving down the road, going like this, and nobody thinks twice about it, and everybody knows, they're helping make this world a better place, is what they're doing. So it's a simple technique. I'm looking forward to learning it for myself on how to. It's a preventative measure, yes, but it's also, as you and I talked on another one of these conference calls, it's, knowing this technique ahead of time. When something happens to you, you can pull it out of your bag of tricks and get through the situation with greater ease. But it's also, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it helps with the issues that are going on in everyday life. So.
I so appreciated what you just said there, Denise, because I really believe, and so does Valerie, the originator of this, that we will create a better world. Because when think of it in this way, when we're in anxiety, stress, worry, we're always in fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in fight and flight mode, you can't make a good decision.
No.
That's when poor decisions happen. You don't do self-care. You're not able to maintain a life of ease.
Mm-hmm.
When you start tapping, what happens is you move to a calm place. You
Mm-hmm.
move into a higher level of consciousness. And then you can go and look at your life and say, I need to make this decision for myself. And you're empowered to make that decision. And you're empowered to make it from a place that is divinely orchestrated with the universe. And I know that sounds woo-woo, but I really believe we live in a world that we need to embrace our world and have a relationship with the universe to make this a better place.
Yeah.
And the universe wants us to make good decisions and to have a life of ease. So what you just said is so true. We're going to make the world a better place.
Yeah, and the work that's being done for PTSD, I think, is phenomenal. I know the Veterans Administration, at least one branch of the government, is really embracing holistic options, realizing that it's driving down costs in terms of medication. It's helping people heal faster, and it's not just EFT. They're embracing Reiki, as a matter of fact, energy healing, and other things as well. So it's so nice to learn that at least one aspect of our government model, which controls everything else, is moving this direction. So that's good. That's really good.
It is.
So where do you work with people?
I do Zoom.
Oh,
So
yay.
right now I can work from my home with people, and we set up a Zoom call and we can tap and I can teach people.
Yeah.
I'm building my private practice.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is, because I've been in healthcare for, I hate to say how many years, I'm going to say 25 plus.
Sure.
And I understand that model, and I managed nurses for years and caregivers for years. I want to take it into healthcare
Yeah.
and teach the healthcare providers how to use tapping. One, it'll help take care of themselves when they're stressed
Yeah.
and having a difficult day. And two, potentially they can help their patients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I love that you can meet with clients, that you're doing that work through Zoom, and that you can meet with clients anywhere in the world. Anyone, anywhere in the world is one of my
Yeah.
favorite sayings. And technology allows us to do those things. So if you're watching this video and you're not located in Colorado, you can still work with Sharon and learn this valuable technique. And it doesn't take a long time to learn it. And it's something that everybody should learn. Absolutely. And I'm going to soon, very soon. So this is where I get to talk about the fact that you are in the Udefine Wellness Network. And what does that mean to people? So let me pull it up real quick. So when you are stepping outside of traditional insurance, because I can tell you emotional freedom technique is not something that is typically covered under a medical insurance plan, as are many of the modalities in the Udefine Wellness Network. When you're stepping outside and you're having to find your own way, I already described, you can go to Google and search keywords and you'll find a list of people. What sets us apart from the others is that our network of health and wellness professionals, and there are hundreds across the United States, and we are growing by leaps and bounds. We've actually vetted them. And we invite you to use our provider directory, whether you're one of our clients or not. You may certainly access them, access the list of them. And what we do when I say they're vetted is that we are doing a criminal background investigation. We are looking at any licenses that they may hold, and if there's any disciplinary actions against them or stipulations, we are looking at to make sure that they are a legal business. We are also checking their reputation, so that when you access our provider list and you find someone you want to work with, it shouldn't be the end-all be-all decision for you. But you know that our list, we don't let just anyone in it. We are really screening them for you initially, and then you have to do your own due diligence, of course. And one of the reasons why having a network of providers is really important is because we can create products for the marketplace, like an employee benefit plan that is employer subsidized and helps cover the cost of people like Sharon. And we can create an education catalog. And these are programs that have been created by and are conducted by our network providers. And some of them are available worldwide through platforms like Zoom. But if you need a health and wellness educator for maybe an employee lunch and learn, or a business association, or a school group, or whatever it may be that you're looking to bring in wellness education, we already have the speakers and the topics, and you can download the catalog for free at our website. And then we had a bunch of individuals who came to us and said, I want to play, because they didn't qualify for the employee benefit plan. So we have created a discount card. It's called the Healthy Living Savings Card. And whomever is the bearer of that card, when they present it to one of our providers in our network who accepts the Healthy Living Savings Card, you will get a discount that the provider has agreed to offer you. And this is this card has no expiration on it. So it is a one-time fee of $99. You can buy it through the end of July 2019 for half price at $49.50. And you can share it with your friends and your family. You can use it multiple times in a month. It's whoever is holding that card when they present it to the provider will get that discount. And you can learn more at our website at youdefinewellness.com. And the last thing I want to share with you is Sharon's phone number. So if you would like to learn more about the Simplified Emotional Freedom Technique, if you would like to, if what she has said it has intrigued you and you want to learn more, pick up the phone and give her a call and see if it's a fit for working with each other. And with that being said, Sharon, thank you. I really appreciate you doing this presentation. I'm looking forward to learning the technique myself. But this is valuable information, and I sincerely appreciate the fact that you are sharing it.
Thank you, Denise. This was very delightful, and I appreciate everything you're doing out here to make this a better world.
Thank you. It's touching my heart. And for those of you who are watching this recording, no matter where you access the recording, you can find the entire library of everything that we have done and put out there in the world at youtube.com. Just put You Define Wellness in the search bar. Make sure you follow us so that you can be notified of future videos that we add. But we have all the videos from this Defining Wellness Confab, plus a whole bunch more that has been on there already. And we encourage you to use it when you're looking for health and wellness providers to work for or to work with. And with that being said, best wishes to everyone for a fun Saturday, no matter what day you're watching this. And we hope to see you on another video soon.